117 laps to go in the Food City 500. Leader Kyle Busch and runner-up Jimmy Johnson are out there in clean air. Not so third place Denny Hamlin. He has a big wad of traffic to get through, and he's trying to pick his way through it, but a lot of those cars are battling for position as well. Hamlin has a bit of a lead. Casey Kane on the fourth place car. Casey Kane right at the end of that pack, but a little bit white knuckle racing in there. Now Kane has to pass the same cars with the number 9 that Hamlin just dealt with.
And see, when you get in situations like this, it breaks your rhythm. You will hear the spotter say, get back in your rhythm. Once you pass somebody, you kind of get going and you get back in your rhythm. And that doesn't mean to turn up your iPod. It just means that when you're going down the straightaway, you listen to the engine. It's, here you go. Now he will hear that sound on both straightaways, and he'll back off at that same pitch. That's part of the rhythm. Then the other part is off the gas, little brake. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. And you just get in a, throw the car in, catch it, pick up the gas, touch the brake. Listen for the rhythm of the engine.
We asked a number of the drivers in today's race to expand on that thought about the rhythm of racing at Bristol.
The thing about Bristol is it's rhythm. It is rhythm. It's about doing the same thing right over and over and over.
Because there's no other track like this, so it's not like you have this, ingrained, sense for what's fast. Usually, if you're consistent here, it's as good as being fast.
It's a nightmare when you can't get into that rhythm and you can't get the car working the way you want it. It's a long day.
Jeff Burton's had a little trouble finding that rhythm today. He won here last year, leading the last 2 laps in an overdrive style shootout. But this hasn't been the best day for the Cat car, but slowly, methodically, he's worked his way up to 11th.
And just another little piece of the puzzle is hand-eye coordination. When you hear the engine where you want it and your left and your right hand is up on top of that wheel where you want it, that also is a signal that everything is going the way you want it to. A part of the rhythm package.
Steve?
Mike, exactly right about Jeff Burton, last year's winner. However, once he got in or around the top 10, the problem is the back end has been just a little bit too loose for his liking.
Boy, he just cracked the top 10 because he drove by David Ruderman in that double zero.
He had that back end out like he was talking about, too. That thing was swung out there loose.
But he's definitely our biggest mover. Remember, he started in the 38th position, so he's gained 28 spots since started this race as we're approaching 100 laps to go.
And as you watch his hands, when his hand is right where he wants it to be, that's time to pick up the throttle. He waits on the car. He pulls the wheel down. See how it's down? Now he says, okay, I'm ready to go now. Now I'm back up on the straightaway, and that's just all a part of getting in your rhythm.
Ahead of him, Montoya's the 9th place car.
But the way he drives the car, that's old school driving right there. Most of these kids today, they want to hold the wheel at 3 and 9 and drive it like a go-kart. That's the way we used to do it right there, man. You got to crank on it. When it won't turn, what do you do?
When I said he had trouble finding his rhythm, it's because he's been in heavy traffic all day. He really hasn't had a chance to just run those kind of laps you talked about without dealing with other cars, one side or another.
They definitely look like Scott Miller in that group. They've made the right adjustments. They've kept up at the racetrack because he just took that position away from Montoya. That moves him up to the 9th spot.
12 rounds open Friday. It opens this Friday, and that is a thriller with wrestler John Cena in the starring role. And if Bristol's not enough excitement for you and you can't wait for Martinsville, go and see 12 rounds. That's a corker.
This is about the point in the race, Larry, when I'd say, how many more laps are there to go? They'd say 50 more to go, 50 more.
And they'd be lying to you.
They'd be lying to
you. How many now? Well, there's still 50.
Well, let's make it 100.
And then you'd get really mad. See, when I get in there.
Well, hurry up and get in here and finish this thing off.
That's right.
I've been helped out of the car, carried out of this place many, many times from cramps, dehydration, and worn out. This place will do it to you.
Now that's Travis Quapples trying to stay on the lead lap. He's back in the 18th spot, so he's picking them up and laying them down.
He is having a good run. 100 laps to go.
NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by 12 Rounds, starring John Cena. Friday only in theaters.
So if you take DW's advice, the wife's got chores for you to do, tell her there's only 45 laps to go.
Yeah, and it'll only
Actually,
take about 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's 89 laps to go, and the 3 leaders are all together, courtesy of Travis Kvapil. Kvapil in the 28 was trying to keep from going a lap down, and he really held up Kyle Busch, and then he held up Jimmy Johnson a bit, and Johnson, a little close encounter right there. Now, Kvapil's got nothing to lose, everything to race for and nothing to lose. If they don't find a sponsor, this team has to shut down. He was really working hard to stay on the lead lap.
But I got to tell you, this thing is starting to really get tight up near the front. That 18, the 48, the 11, the 9, the 5, those guys are there.
Tell you what, I believe if we get us another caution, this 031 car, Jeff Burton, they're going to be a player, because there he is battling Jeff Gordon for the 8th position. Remember, Jeff Burton started back in the 38th position.
But this is the way Jeff Burton would run this race. This is the way Mark Martin would run this race. Kind of lay back, don't talk about me much. Come inside 100 laps.
Go get him.
Well, it's not laying back so much, Darrell, as it is Jeff Burton doesn't care if he leads 300, 400 laps of this race. There's only one lap he wants to lead, and that's about all he led here last year in winning.
He's getting himself in the hunt.
And I tell you, our leader, Kyle Busch, in that 18 car with about 84 laps to go, he is in heavy traffic behind Eric Almirola and Bobby Labonte in the 96.
I don't like this because Almirola hasn't been on the bottom all day, so that is where Busch has to go. Bobby Labonte hasn't got off the bottom all day.
Well, and what you don't like is for Kyle is that, you know, we know he's very impatient. And we know he can get very frustrated in a hurry. And here he is with guys that are going to race him pretty hard. And that just gets to you, man.
He's trying to force the 96 to give him the bottom lane.
Plus, you got,
and that's a little bit of a struggle there.
You got the 48 now that's, you know, if he happens to make the right move, he could pass him right here.
Looks like Jimmy Johnson's going to jump to the high side, follow Bobby Labonte. If Kyle Busch can clear that 96 car, you can see how he pulls Jimmy Johnson off the corner. I think he'll make this pass in 3 and 4.
Yeah, he just dove it in there pretty hard and got the line, got up in front of Bobby Labonte there.
Darrell, this I don't understand. Bobby Labonte's one of the cleanest drivers on the racetrack. If you race him clean, he'll give you all the room you want. If you want to muscle under him, you'll get him up on the wheel.
Yeah, well, the problem is that you can move to the high side now on this racetrack. And you can maintain a pretty good speed up there and choke that guy on the inside down. Yeah, Bobby's trying to get out of the way, really, but he can't just put on the brakes and pull over.
I know we've been watching what Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson's been doing, but that 11 car, Denny Hamlin's right there. But here's the car that's been on the move. Casey Kane in that 9 car. Krista talked about him earlier. He's just been having a nice, solid, quiet day. And here he is with 78 laps to go, sitting there within striking distance.
Well, there's some boys up there, but there's a man back there in the back, too. That 5 car's not 4 behind, and he's got ideas about getting up here and making a race out of it before it's over with.
Our pole sitter, Mark Martin.
Mark dropped back a bit. He has only led once today for 2 laps. And you're right, he's had a pretty quiet race. Just kind of been lurking there outside of the leader.
Now here's what we need to set up. We're getting close to 100 laps into this green flag run. We know there's going to be one more pit stop whether we stay green or not. But remember, on the last green flag run, at about 120 laps, we started seeing some people have some tire issues, wearing the tires out.
So when will they pit? We'll find out. 75 laps to go at Bristol.